Whenever you have 4 terms, you're going to attempt to factor it by grouping. It might not always work, but if I'm telling you to factor by grouping, it's probably going to. But just be aware that if it doesn't work out, that's okay, and you might just put prime. Whenever you have 4 terms, you check the middle sign. Okay, this is always how you start a factoring. If that middle sign is negative, then you're going to say, okay, I really want it to be a positive, which means I have to say that 4x is now negative. So all I did, it was a minus 4x, and you just put plus and negative. If this had started off as a positive, you wouldn't change that second term at all. You would just keep it how it was. Now, we're grouping, and whenever you group, you say you have the first 2 terms, okay, and you just look at those. And then you're going to look at the second 2 terms and leave the sign out. It's mathematically correct to leave the sign out. Now, when you look at this, you just factor binomials. You factor two sets of monomials looking for the greatest common factor. And there are videos like that in the previous section of this unit. So you look and you figure out, okay, well, this is x squared and then 2x minus 5. If that is hard for you, there's some videos that I put up in the previous section for this factoring unit. Look for factoring using the greatest common factor is what you're looking for. Now, with this one, there's a -4 and a 10, and you have to at least factor out a 1. So there's a 2. I can factor out a 2, I'm sorry. You can factor out a 2, and because the leading term is negative, you're going to factor out a -2. And that gives you x minus 5. 2x minus 5. Now, once again, if these factoring out the greatest common factor is difficult for you, then you should watch the videos in the previous section. Now, I have these two, 2x minus 5 and 2x minus 5. These have to be the same. When they're the same, you're going to factor out that's the greatest common factor in each one of these terms. So 2x minus 5 is now my common factor. And then you write what's left on the outside of the parentheses. So I have x squared minus 2. So you just set up another parenthesis set and you say x squared minus 2, because that's what's outside of these parentheses. And this is going to be your answer. Okay, and like all factoring, you can check this. You can say, okay, well, now I'm going to multiply the binomials together. This is just the check. This is your answer. You're confirming your answer. So I have 2x times x squared. That gives me 2x cubed. That's what I started with. 2x times -2 is minus 4x. That's what I started with. Okay, it might be in a different order. That's okay. Then you have -5 times x, which is minus 5x squared. That's what I started with. -5 times -2 is positive 10. Here are your 4 terms, and they're in a different order, these middle 2 terms, but that's okay. And then you have plus 10 over there. It checks, which confirms that that is my final answer. So I'll do one more with you guys in the next video.